Ladies and gents, welcome back. Justin Trudeau making public statements again, and of course, as always, putting his foot further and further into his own mouth. This time he was talking to a group of his own fringe minority of supporters, anymore in Canada. If you look at the polling, it looks like not many people want to get behind the Liberal brand, but when they do, they come in and they jeer, not jeer in support of Justin Trudeau. Now, this clip, courtesy of the Pleb Reporter, truck driver Pleb on Twitter. Go give him a follow. But this is Justin Trudeau recently talking about conservatives and, well, just the direction they're going in and what their concerns are.
But this is what the Conservative Party of Canada has become under Pierre Poilievre. Even Erin O'Toole knew that. Before he left, he admitted that members of the Conservative Party went deep down into the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories during the pandemic, and they show no sign of coming out.
Yeah, and that's why they got rid of him, because he was an idiot. Anyway, go on.
It's quite telling that when Pierre Poilievre sat down with President Joseph R. Biden a month ago, he used his precious time to complain about vaccine mandates.
Maybe not the single most important thing for Canadians across the country in 3 years that are still ongoing. And look at this guy. This is amazing. He noticed that he was on camera while Justin Trudeau was saying these words. Watch his reaction.
Orders, not jobs for the middle class.
Gotta get out of here. I don't want people seeing me in association to these words. Bye-bye. I can't be associated with this.
Certainly not Ukraine.
Oh, certainly not Ukraine.
Vaccine.
The thing even Pierre Poilievre agrees with, you all agree with. Why would they talk about that? Why would they talk about that when they could be talking about the thing that's affected so many Canadians' lives over the past 3 years? Now, this has been something that has destroyed so many Canadians' lives. Nicole from BC on Twitter commenting, saying, government mandates ruined lives. Trudeau divided Canadians with propaganda, encouraged spying on neighbors, and reporting gatherings, closed parks, churches, non-essential businesses, and implemented ridiculous rules like masking and plexiglass barriers. It was effing wrong. It absolutely ruined people's lives. People lost their businesses. People lost their way of life. People lost family members over the division that was sowed in this mass psychosis that went through our country and was perpetrated by our prime minister. Now, did it turn out to be true? Hell no. Hell no. Did it turn out to be something that was effective? Hell no. And here we have, even from the New York Post, saying 10 myths told by COVID experts now debunked. Let's go through some of these. Hey, misinformation number 1, natural immunity offers little protection compared to vaccine immunity. These are still myths that people believe, by the way, because the propaganda machine were so effective at what they did. Misinformation number 2, masks prevent COVID transmission. You have no idea. The people are still wearing those things today because of the propaganda. Misinformation number 3, school closures reduce COVID transmission. Turns out that wasn't so true. Misinformation number 4, myocarditis from the vaccine is less common than from the infection. Hey, misinformation number 5, young people benefit from a vaccine booster. God, it's just, what? And misinformation number 6, we could keep going with the list, but this is the one I want to stop at and talk about because this is the most pertinent one to today's topic. And misinformation number 6, vaccine mandates increased vaccination rates. They did not. In fact, President Biden and other officials demand that unvaccinated workers, regardless of their risk or natural immunity, be fired. And this happened across Canada as well. Anybody who disagreed when it came to, working for an airline on the federal level, you were fired. If you worked for the federal government, you were fired. If you wanted the Peace Act just had a strike. Did they stand up for their workers that got fired? No, they did not. But when it comes to wanting to still do your job in your jammies, they shut everything down. They demanded that soldiers be dishonorably discharged and nurses be laid off in the middle of a staffing crisis. Absolutely. James Topp marched across the entire country. He walked over 4,000 kilometers in solidarity with all the soldiers that were dishonorably discharged because of their refusal to take this vaccine that turned out to not even be effective at doing the thing that they were mandating it for. And yet media did not want to talk about him. They slandered him, to which some of those reporters that were subsequently fired. I don't know if it was related. Notion later proven to be false. But after the broad recognition that vaccination does not reduce transmission, the mandates persisted and still do to this day. They still, in British Columbia and several other provinces, healthcare workers have not gone back to work despite shortages in healthcare workers. This is insane. It's insanity. And to see Trudeau double down on this in front of his minority of supporters, minority of Canadians that still jeer for him in public places. A recent study from George Mason University details how vaccine mandates in 9 major U.S. cities had no impact on vaccination rates. We can only extrapolate that would be true as well in Canada. They also had no impact on COVID transmission rates. Absolutely true. Now, even the CBC at the time of the Freedom Convoy was having a hard time, even though they're still propagandizing people with this COVID mandates have worked in Canada, but they're harder than ever to justify. It's getting harder and harder because why? Because they're unpopular. And it turns out that they now, with all this hindsight, it turns out that they didn't help at all and they just ruined lives. But hey, Justin Trudeau, of course, just burning the Liberal brand. Anything that they had left is just being destroyed. Whoever is going to support the Liberal Party, they're going to be more fringe than the NDP moving forward. People are not supporting them. And how can you tell this? Well, in the support that they get. Conservatives bought more donations than Liberals by nearly $5 million. And this is just in the first quarter alone in this time. Now, take this with a grain of salt. This may not all be just small donors, individuals wanting to get into the Conservative Party. This is probably a lot of the big donor class. They know that the Liberal Party has gone the way of the dodo. It's not coming back. If there's an election tomorrow, they're not going to win. So they want to vie for influence now. They're getting ahead of the curve because they know absolutely that the Liberals are not going to win ever again in Canada. Well, not in the foreseeable future. It just depends on how badly Justin Trudeau is going to demolish the brand. But of course, people on Twitter just smashing it to bits. Absolutely. And that's the perfect graphic from Vesper D on Twitter, a graphic designer and brand specialist who's made it his life work to destroy Justin Trudeau and get rid of him, get him out of our government, and he's gonna cancel his Twitter account. Check out tonight's live stream. I'm gonna have him on. We're gonna be discussing exactly that. But here we go. What are the Liberal Party doing to clamor to get some support these days? Liberal Party saying time and time again, Hillary Clinton has been a global leader on human rights. What? Strengthening the middle class, building an economy that works for everybody. What? Since when? Anyway, we're excited to announce that she'll be joining Chrystia Freeland for a keynote conversation at Lib 2023. Oh, Friday, May 5th. That's today. Oh, God. To which other people are, of course, changing the logo to fit more, more aptly to the situation. Oh God, I'd hate to be there because you never know when you walk out of a place not knowing that you wanted to delete yourself. Anyway, ladies and gents, let me know what you think of this whole situation with Justin Trudeau. Always putting his foot in his mouth, like just saying the most absurd things. I know he can get jeers from crowds in a place where people are the vitriolic people that we've known for the past 3 years now. But when it comes to the broad society of Canada, people just cannot get behind the things that he's saying. It's just amazing to me that he keeps saying it over and over again. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you tonight. We'll see you tonight in the live stream at 6:30 Pacific time. That's 9:30 Eastern. We're going to have Vesper D as a guest in. Also going over some of the stories that we went over this week, including the one about the drug store that opened up in Vancouver, for which I got demonetized for. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we'll see you in the live stream. If not, then we'll see you Monday. Keep on tracking.